Ready, get ready. People get ready. There's a train a coming. You don't need no baggage. You just get on. Good God afternoon, people of God. You have tuned in to another episode of The Solutions. I am your host, Minister Corey Wright. As always, we know what the problems are. We know we need to solve them. What I offer on this platform is solutions, dedicated action that bring about true change, not just talked about change, and no excuses. Excuses are man's tools of incompetence that build bridges from nowhere, monuments of nothing. Broadcasting live from IntellectualRadio.com, our heart radio station. And he is here. Sorry for being late, people of God. You know, traffic, crazy stuff, you know, happens. You know how it is. I got him here. Buckle up. Right now, it's the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help us, God. I got him here, Tony Branch, who has done so much for community, so much for people. It is my great honor. It is my great pleasure. People of God, he's about to be on fire. I'll let him introduce himself, tell him about himself, and then he introduce his guest, and we're going to get into it.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me, and the minister was too kind. I'm late because of traffic, and I'm so blessed to be here. And to my left is AJ Downs. She's one of my ball players, college, and she played for me for 6 years. I coached men, boys, and girls, and young ladies. She is our all-time winningest ball player. She has over 112 wins under her belt, a couple of national runner-ups, and a few other accolades that she has for me. And my name is Coach Tony Branch. I'm the founder and head coach of Maryville Youth Basketball, a program I started to keep the young kids off the street. Me being from New York City, I'm used to having after-school programs. I did not see that too much in Gary and Maryville, Indiana. So what I did, I took my money and my bonus money, and I'm a military retiree, and founded my own program to keep the young people off the street.
Okay. With your special guest, would you like to say hello and tell us about yourself?
Hi. My name is AJ Downs. How's everybody doing out there? Hope everybody's blessed and everything. I'm 22 years old. I'm a senior in college. I go to school at IUN, Indiana University of Northwest. I played basketball ever since I was in first grade. I started playing with Coach Tony when I was in sixth grade, and I've been playing ball ever since.
So is the WNBA part of your near future?
Well, when I was a kid, yes, it was in my future, but I decided to, do something different. Like, either I wanted to be a coach, or become a physical therapist.
Okay. She's actually being too kind, Minister Corey Wright. She's also still holds the record in AAU national tournament to be a seventh grader playing against college freshmen at 19U. She still holds the record today. I double checked the other day. We was national runner-ups in 2009 with a bunch of kids from Maryville, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, and Munster, Indiana. We beat NBA-sponsored teams, Nike-sponsored teams. They fell asleep on us. They really did. They really fell asleep on us. And when they looked up, it was us against Team Canada for the big trophy. We ended up taking the $500-some trophy home. We ended up losing the national tournament title. It didn't feel good because we let the championship go over the border into Canada. And Canada is allowed to play in our tournaments because they drop down in Detroit, in New York, and play in our regionals and district tournaments. So they're allowed to play at the national tournament in Orlando, Florida, Disney World, at the ESPN Disney Complex.
Okay. Now, what makes you awesome? Your jump shot, your step? Because I want to know before you embarrass me on the court, because I want a one-on-one.
Well, and to me, I was always a drive to the whole player.
You got that shake and bake, huh?
Yeah.
She's a defensive ball player.
Right. You said she talked. First, you did like this, like she gonna fake me out. I'm ready. Oh, okay.
She's being quite kind to you today, Minister Corey Wright. She's a defensive ball player. She's won defensive ball player all 6 years. She played at the end of the season award night. She's won it all 6. Even when she was a 7th grader, she beat out seniors.
Wow.
She was in middle school, and she beat out high school, all areas people. Yeah.
So you Division I starting?
She was NAIA.
Yeah. I was my first 2 years I went to Kirkwood Community College. That's a JUCO school.
In Iowa.
In Iowa. And then I transferred back to Maryville, Indiana. Well, in Maryville, Indiana, and Gary, and I wanted to finish off the rest of my 2 years at IUN.
So now, what do you think about the strides that the WNBA making and women in basketball has made? What do you think about that today?
Well, he didn't expect that.
Right.
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
I gotta ask you a question. Hey, I asked you what the spirit give me.
We was just talking about that the other day. Just be free, just like you was talking to me.
Yes, be free. We open on this show.
Well, I mean, actually, the 2 teams that are playing in the finals this year again, I'm actually like looking forward to the finals. And
my favorite player is
yeah.
Dana Taurasi. I just think I like Candace Parker because she dunked in the game, and she from Illinois. Well,
my favorite player is Candace Parker. I love Candace Parker. But I also have like some other players that I like too. But Candace Parker is my favorite one.
Okay. Before we get to before we get to Tony Brand, what do you contribute your success as far as a ball player growing up? What type of teenager were you in? How big of an influence was your parents to the success you have today?
Well, when I was little, like my father was barely there, so my mom was always around. So, my mom basically, she was always there for me and my brother. So
AJ's mom, we call her Mama V, but her name is Lavetta Lampley. She's started out as a teen mom, and she worked her way up to my vice president. She's actually right up under me. So if I don't handle the business, she handles the business for the team or the club. So very into sports, just like AJ. And I think AJ didn't directly answer your question. She don't like losing. She refused to lose. Even at the national tournament, just to piss her off, I told her to go out there and ask that girl for an autograph because she is killing you. But she wouldn't talk to me until after halftime. AJ stole the ball from her coming out of halftime 2 times, then she took the girl to the bucket. Now you got to understand, this was barely an 8th grader. Some of us, remember, she's just graduate. No, she was a 7th grader going into 8th grade, already playing against a 19-year-old college freshman out of Ontario, Canada. I actually did a nice story on it. They couldn't believe that we was that young. We only played up because we had one young lady whose birthday forced us to play up, or I had to leave her home. And I was not going to leave her home because of her birthday. So I said, we played with you the whole season. We'll just play up. Nobody expected anything from us. We even beat Rashard Lewis' team. NBA guys came down and talked to us. We beat Team Europe, best out of the military, Team Europe. And we started knocking off teams, and college coaches and stuff started coming to talk to us. I said, y'all really can't talk to me. He's only going to 8th grade. So we was really the shock of the tournament.
Wow.
We was really the shock of the tournament. We got a lot of love. Teams that we eliminated from South Carolina, they hung around. And LSU track team was there. College University was there practicing and start raining. They came in and watched us. I couldn't believe it. The place was packed.
Well, now that you're on my team, on Team The Solution, on draft night, you got to make sure I'm there. You got to make sure I'm there. Is there anything else you want to add?
Well, I was going to talk about, like my mom, she's always been supportive, and she was always there with whenever I was playing, and even if I had a bad game or if I didn't play at all, she was there. And even for my brother too. Yeah, she was a single mother. Like I said, our father was never there for us.
She understood she had to play a dual role in her children's lives. And Mama V, if you watch Mama V, hey,
Mama V,
very strong, very into her kids, and she don't take no excuses for them. If they have a bad day, game, certain parents were sugar-coated. Mama V didn't. I just told her, it's always tomorrow. It's always tomorrow. It's always tomorrow.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that. Now let's get into Tony Branch. You are a very extraordinary person. I thank God for you being here. Let's start with your birth. You came into the world in trying times.
Yes, I did.
When you were born, your father, trying to get to the birth, died in a car accident.
Right. The same day I was born was also the same day my father died. I don't celebrate my birthday. I just don't. I try to do something for someone else on my birthday. So basically, give or take 30 minutes, even though he was dead on the scene, they don't pronounce you dead until you get to the hospital. A doctor has to pronounce you dead. EMTs and emergency people still work on you. I was actually being born up on the 6th floor, and they were putting him in the morgue in the same hospital. They literally had to tell my mother, after I was born, take me out of my mother's arms. And I literally tell her, I didn't have a name for 5 days. I think my mother was still in shock. Some nurse had a St. Anthony's pendant around her neck and was rubbing it all the time. And she just started telling my mother about St. Anthony, and that's how come my name was Anthony Branch. Yeah, so whatever the numbers they have, I wouldn't call myself Baby Doe, but I didn't have a name for 5 days, and I kept prompting my mother. It was just hard to digest, I guess. Yeah.
And growing up, what type of effect did that have on your mom and her raising you?
Her being from the South, Powhatan, Virginia, my mother was an introvert. She didn't really talk a lot, but I could see it on her face. And I just knew tough times was always faced us as a family. But I just knew that knowing her like I do.
Let's take one break. Let's take a break.
Don't wanna miss this train, so Lord, we thank you in advance. Get ready. People get ready, there's a train a-coming. Don't need no baggage, just get on. You don't need no ticket, just get on board. Just get on board. Get on board. You don't need no ticket, you just get on board. So people get ready.
All right, welcome back to the Solutions, IntellectualRadio.com, people of God. I'll definitely I'll put the YouTube one on there. Let's, and it's those that hear the question. I asked him, we talked about when he was born, his dad died the same day he was born, trying to get to the hospital. And my next question was, what type of adverse effect it had on your mom and growing up? And you were saying?
I could see the hurt in her face. My mom was an introvert. She didn't really talk a lot. My mom was just one of them people, even if you cheated her out of money or you did her wrong, she was one of them people just took it. She was raised in the South. My people are people of faith. I wish she took us to church when we was growing up, but I just think after a while, my mom society just beat her up. And that's something I refuse to not let happen to me. Even though I come from poverty, I'm telling you, Yeah, they call it EBT or whatever they call it. I was a welfare kid. I was a welfare kid, fresh and fun kid, police athletic, didn't really like school, but I did enough to continue to pass classes, and of course, to stay on the football team. Actually, I'm a football player. Basketball made me who I am today, but I'm a better football player than I'm a basketball player. And I just wouldn't let the circumstances hold me down. I just realized one day I was going to get out of these circumstances. And I think we as people, whether you're black, white, yellow, Haitian, or Korean, I just think sometimes if we don't think we're going to do better, you don't. So I always felt that I was going to get out of the situation I was in. And I lost a scholarship for playing football at Butler College, and it was JUCO in Kansas, because coach told me, give him a call. I thought I had until Monday. He wanted to call that Friday. I'm hanging out with my fellow seniors at DeWitt Clinton High School in the Bronx. And of course, senior, we had a good season. We hanging out. I guess we're trying to talk to girls, whatever. And I said, I'll call him on Monday. When I called him on Monday, I accepted another scholarship and literally gave my scholarship away. So I tell all my players, don't be like Coach Tony. When someone tells you to call them, call them. Do not delay and wait 2 and 3 days. So I didn't realize I had a window to 5 o'clock Friday. I ended up calling them back 10 o'clock Monday. My scholarship was gone.
Hey, what kind of player were you? Good? Were you all say?
No. I was decent enough to be New York. I was decent to be on my team. I led my team in interceptions. My actually high school team led New York City inner city public school athletic leader interceptions. We was pretty small. I was probably the biggest guy in our secondary. I was 5'9", by 155 pounds. I wish I had the size I had now to play football. Maybe I would have went D1, but ran like the deer. I didn't have clock speed. I had game speed. So, I would break on interceptions. Coming from the secondary, I always guarded I was the left corner. Most teams are right-handed, but now they flip-flop corners and stuff like that. I always stayed on the left side, because we knew in New York City most right-hand quarterbacks, best receivers, was going to be on the right side. So I guarded the best receiver almost all the time. And I had to try to get physical with him, even though I was smaller than him.
Now, did you play college football?
No, I did not, but I did play tackle football in Montefiore, California, for the base team. It was 8-man. California's crazy. They got 8-man football, 11-man football. It was fun. It was fun. I separated my shoulder, but it was fun.
Now, as you got older and you got out of high school, what was the relationship with you and your mom, and what happened?
Well, me and my mom was a quiet person. And I actually, believe it or not, AJ, you ain't gonna believe this, I used to be quiet too, because sometimes they tell me I talk too much.
You do talk loud.
So she was quiet. So it been a lot of times we would sit in the living room, very little was said. But I could tell my mom was one of these people, just like you probably had a mother this way. If she told you to do something, she told you once and gave you that look. I understood the look. I understood the body motions and the look. So she communicated a lot like that. But my mom's, she dropped out of high school in the 9th grade. Okay. So she really could not help us when we got into high school. So my sister, I'm the middle child, my sister's 3 years older than me, she went to college. My sister was a nurse. So because she wanted to get out of the South, Powhatan, Virginia is all built up now, but it wasn't. And getting called them N names, and she just wanted to get out of there. And she ended up coming to the city, worked in a sweatshop, garment sweatshop, and got paid by piece, not by hour. And if the piece didn't pass quality insurance, she didn't get paid for that piece. So imagine working 8 hours, and if they didn't deem your piece, your sewing piece, good enough, you didn't get paid for that piece. And she lived in a Christian YMCA for a couple of years till she got on her own. So now you got to understand, someone who drops out of high school, start working, and then comes to New York City, because in the South, all the jobs was in New York City. It's like here, anywhere in Chicago, if you talk to people, their families from Mississippi, they always try to go to a bigger metropolis to get jobs, and that's what my mom did. Now, she was raised by her grandmother, because my grandmother, her mother, worked at Fort Meade. So everybody worked away from the home and sent money back. Because my grandmother, which is my mom's mom, actually worked outside of Washington, D.C. Because it was really, if you wasn't doing crop in the South, really wasn't nothing there. So it was a disconnect with us, even with some of my family today, because we grew up in the city. When we go in the South, when it starts storming, they cut off the TV and everybody get quiet. They say God is upset. And at the time when I was young, I didn't really understand the meaning of it. I was like, man, the show was on, but they would cut off the TV. But it was always a disconnect because they was raised in the South and we was raised in the North. So we would always go down there and everybody thought we talked kind of funny or fast. They say I talk too fast. I said, no, you listen too slow. Being a wise guy that I was or still am sometimes. But it was, but I love my mother. I wish it was better. And because, as you can see, I'm a reader, and me and you done communicated through the phone, through text, through email. So I'm well read. I know a lot. I don't know everything. I know a lot. And I purposely make sure I learn something new every day, because the day you stop learning is the day you stop living. And if you stop living, that means you must be dead. So I always try to learn something new every day.
Now, seeing what your mom went through and what your grandma went through, what created in you your drive? I mean, was that a driving force, or what was the spirit or the mindset as growing up? I'm never going to do this, or I'm never going to be this way, or I'm going to make sure that I help people along the way. When did that start?
I think the trickle down effect was from my mom. My mother could have nothing. And there's been times where we just had pork and beans, and these kids today, we couldn't go to these fast food places and stuff like that. But she always helped. If my mother had a nickel, we had 2.5 cents in it. It was a young fella. His name was Sam. His mom put him out. My mom took him in. Now she got to understand, she's single and struggling to feed 3 kids, and then she brings another gentleman because she just said, I can't leave that young fella. He was older than us on the street, and my mom took care of him until he got himself a job and made it on his own. I don't know the dynamics of why his mother put him out, but my mom took him in. So I watched her. I watched my mom a lot. I would go in the kitchen and just watch her cook. I got into sports a little bit later, but I'm a homebody. I'm at home a lot. When I'm out. I'm going to have a good time, but I'm basically a homebody, and I just watch my mom. And I just saw what she would do for people. And I guess that just was installed in me, and I just took it to the next level.
What happened to your mom?
But my mom passed away. She had a massive heart attack. Actually, I think next year my mom died at around 58. And I'll be 57 this November. So next year I'll be the age when my mom passed. I just broken heart, her health. My mother didn't go to the doctors like she probably should. I think she got frustrated with the system. And when you're from the city, people just assume that people that look like you and I are lazy. I always ask individuals when I see they got that look in their eye, I said, let me tell you something. Being poor, living in poverty is not a choice. It's a situational thing. Whether it's divorce, whether it's jobs, whether it's bankruptcy, it's a choice. When you have your children, if you have any, guess what? You want your son or daughter to be the next doctor, maybe the first female Black president. Nobody say poverty, living in a hood, like here in Chicago. People in certain bad areas don't want to be there, but they have no way to get out. So when I tell people that, some people that, I ain't trying to drop no names, I tell them, please get that mindset get out of your head. No one says on purpose want to be poor and live in a hood. I have not met one person yet. I've been all over the world and I lived in Japan 2 years. I have not met one person yet that said, you know what? My objective is to be poor and live in a hood. Nope. It's situational. Once we understand the situation, then you have to get your way out. I was blessed to be asked to be the keynote speaker in 2013 for Michael Jackson's mom. And I didn't know she was a fan of mine for 2 years. So I was blessed to finally meet her. And she had me keynote right there at 2300 Jackson Street outside the original home. And I told people this, and you can look it up if anyone don't believe me. I said, we got to stop waiting for the government to help us because the government is too busy handling other things. And I got news for you. Gary in Chicago is not first on their list. One thing, the politicians, let's understand politics. They're going to do their job up to a certain point. And I'm not beating up on politicians.
Open up.
Yeah, let's keep it real, right?
Come on.
They're going to do watch this. Where you think that new street lamp is going to go? You think it's going to go in your neighborhood, or you think it's going to go in a folks that got $250,000 home neighborhood? Now, guess what? We all need traffic lights, but where you think the traffic light is going?
Where the money is.
But watch this. Ain't we still people? Let that marinate for a minute.
Yeah.
Let that marinate for a minute. I'm people. I'm God's child. We God's children. Our finances, where we live, has nothing to do with it. Whatever is deemed to be or come to me should come to me. Only because I don't have that financial status, then it doesn't. Or we find ways to delay it. And then the frustration sets in. You can stop a lot of these crimes in these neighborhoods. We got to create jobs. We got to create jobs. We just got to create jobs. We got to find a way. And I like the name of this show. And one of the guys that mentored to me is Ambassador Dr. Clyde Rivers, who's at-large ambassador for Burundi, Africa. He always says to be the voice of the people, and also James Malachek, the secret millionaire, to be the voice of the people, you have to have a solution. Because sitting around complaining gets you nowhere. That's a bridge to nowhere.
That's it. That was the whole reason behind my show. We got people constantly talking about problems. We can sit up all day and argue about not having no food, or we can put our heads and I collect the bodies and I collect the minds together and go get some food.
Yeah, we are very smart people. Like my quote book here, give rise to a leader. And this is for you, actually, sir. I autographed it and I got some more stuff for you. But it was just one night I couldn't sleep, and I had thoughts. And give rise to a leader is poetry, but quotes. You have to become connected to yourself, your inner self, before you can truly find peace. Okay, hear me out. You have to connect to your inner self, not your outer self, because everybody's giving you a show. But when you're sitting in that room by yourself looking in the mirror, like Michael said, that man in the mirror, who do you see? Right? Who am I impressing? Who am I fronting in front of? Who do you see? Once you understand and you connect to yourself, then you will find freedom, which are always going to lead you to peace.
Come on, that's good. Where, what age or what time? Okay, let's go. After your mom passed, where did you decide to go? Where did you go from there?
Okay, once I lost the scholarship, my mom passed, and I'm kind of glad you did that because this is the side a lot of people don't know. AJ know, a lot of people in my inner circle know, and it's also in my recent book here. People didn't realize I was in the system twice. I was in the system when I was 10 years old. My mom got sick, and they kept her in the hospital. And we literally was in the lobby waiting on our mom, and we didn't eat for almost 20, 30 hours. And people realized, wait a minute, that lady we just admitted, them are her kids. Before we knew it, we was taken into child's welfare custody. We became wards of the state. They separated my sister from, of course, me and my brother, Larry, and we didn't see each other for a while, but me and my brother was together. And then we met up again after they realized my mom was not going to come out the hospital for a while. We ended up going upstate to a facility, St. Cabrini Home. And then once I was there for about a year and a half, and my Aunt Margie finally found us because she was also living in the city with most of our family south. And then once my mom got well, we got released back to her. And then she fell ill again my freshman year in high school. And my uncle really wanted to take me, but he was too old in the Bronx. And they said, we're going to have to put him in the system. I think it broke my uncle's heart. I said, Uncle Richard, I'll go. I just went in the system. So at 14, I went back into the system. And I graduated in the system. My mother didn't watch me graduate. My mother didn't watch me play football. Actually, my mother didn't even know I played football because I kind of sort of lied to her. My mother wasn't a sports person. But I forged her name, and I purposely made sure she didn't see the back of the New York City Post, because a couple of times I made the back of the newspaper, so I made sure she didn't see it. By the time my mom found out I was playing high school football, and I was a little bit of somebody, I was already a junior, senior high school.
How did that make you feel in the system?
It hurt. It hurt. But it's just one of them things, man. It's just, we as a people, we all come from something, some kind of struggle. You know, I'm not a, don't come from them type families. Most of us inner city kids, especially I'm gonna speak on African American, and that's what I am and that's what I know. So I can't speak on the other race. It's dysfunction. We can hide it, we can deny it. It's something this we got an uncle that's an alcoholic or a druggie. We got someone who ain't doing what they supposed to do. We got it. If you look long enough on your family tree, you got one. Well, we had some as well. My mom, again, was not close to a lot of people in the South, and then her relationship with her mother wasn't that close, which means we wasn't that close to our grandmother. So actually, my mother taught us survival skills, and that was it. That was basically it. So I think I didn't feel, for lack of a better term, I didn't feel because I didn't have time to cry. I think the first time I really cried as a young adult was when my mother passed. I cried like a baby. And I was in the military. They had literally had to call me back from New York to tell me they don't give you Red Cross messages over the phone. So I literally had to drive 8 hours from New York City back to Virginia Beach, Virginia, NES Oceana. And they told me my mother's passed. And then they made sure I went back because they knew I was going to get on the road. And of course, you don't let nobody drive in that condition. And that was a tough day. That was a tough day. As you can see, it still is a pretty tough day.
When did Tony Braxton speak there? You know, and what was behind you becoming the man you are today?
Actually, I didn't. The idea came from James Malachek, the Secret Millionaire, on the episode that we was on. I was blessed to be on with him. And of course, anybody seen the episode, he gifted me some money. And of course, after the show, hung out with him. I met Michael, hung out with Shaq. I've done some stuff for ABC as well. He put that in my head because I guess after I left the stage, tying in Michael Jackson's August 29th birthday with August 28th, which was the anniversary of the greatest speech ever given, I Have a Dream speech by Dr. Martin Luther King. I asked Mrs. Jackson, can I tie it in together? And if it's disrespectful to the King family or the Jackson's family, I wouldn't do it. She gave me the okay. I did it, and people went crazy, and the news people wanted to know what I wrote. What I wrote is not what I said, because what I wrote, I could tell they was going to get it. So I just tied one into the other, and it went over well. And when I left the stage, I was told, you need to speak. And I was like, yeah, you need to speak. Yeah. And then I started hanging out with Mr. Malachek, going to his events and hanging out with Stedman Graham and Joe Theismann, people like that. They said, man, you need to write a book. And believe it or not, this labor of love took me a couple of years because even though I write for an international online magazine, when it came down to me focusing on me, I just couldn't do it. I found tears coming down my eyes. Didn't realize how poor we were. House was clean. We didn't have a lot of stuff. Christmas for me was probably a bag of Army men, no cheap green Army men, out of 5 or 10 cent store. Remember Woolworths?
Yes.
Yeah, 5 or 10 cents. Now we got these dollar stores and dollar tree stores all over the place. That was Christmas for me. I sort of hurt my mom's eyes always at the beginning of the school year and at Christmas. So that's why with my profits from my book, trust me, I hear the cries of these single mothers. I buy coats, I buy back to school stuff, and I just gifted a couple of schools, even in Maine and also Kentucky. And I just did it in over there at Christ Center Church off Clark Road in Gary. So I don't take no profits from my writings.
Now, is that one of the main reasons why your childhood and things you've been through, you decided to work with kids and coach them and keep them off the street?
Well, I knew there was some shortcomings in the kids because I originally started with boys, even though I started in the military with men. I saw some shortcomings and there was no fathers at home, no fathers. So, of course, now I get letters just like I got a letter from her after 2009. She said, you like a father to me. It kind of made me cry. You know, you don't realize how we all can impact someone like her, someone like Boogie, or someone like J. Rowe, all former players of mine. And they all told me the same thing. So I was kind of like, okay. You know, at first I wouldn't accept it. I kind of shrugged it off. You know, I'm like, ooh, this is somebody else's child. I'm just trying to do the right thing. But after a while, it just came more and more and more, and people just said, can you talk to my child? As you can see, I have no problem talking. And one thing led to another.
Now, how do you deal with when you see a child like you, or going through something similar you do? Do it take you back there?
Yes.
And
yes.
how do you open up to them? I mean, do you put you in it, or do you open up to them to bring them out of it?
I put myself in it, because you always leave a person that you're talking to that's going through stuff with a certain amount of dignity. You always leave them with a certain amount of dignity, because they think you're talking about them, you think you're talking about their family. So I always put the emphasis on me. And then when they said, okay, yeah, such and such, then they start opening up to me, then the emphasis goes from me to us. Once it's us and they realize I got skin in the game, now I bring them in and then show them my Coach Tony Branch love. Now, sometimes she can tell you it's hard love. Sometimes I refuse to take excuses. Don't like excuses. Can't tell me why you missed that layup. I don't care about it. I don't. It's just like Bill Belichick says, when I coach, if everybody do their job, I train you right, we will be successful. I won over 80-something% of my games. 600 wins, 134 losses. 600 wins, wow. 134 losses. So I had a couple of undefeated seasons in there, and I won a lot.
Well, let me.
She put at least 112 of them out of that 600. Right here.
Wow. You got to look at that, people.
The ring is at home. The ring is at home.
Now, if somebody want to buy your books, how would they buy your books? Get in contact.
Oh, man, they would have to go to www.coachtonybranch.com. And just go to the website, just hit the drop box, go down and navigate to merchandise. You see shirts, and you see the book. You'll see pictures with me, Stedman, Michael Jordan, Shaq, some Hollywood people I was hanging out with on Grey's Anatomy and stuff like that. So, man, I've been blessed.
Now, you open up the doors for so many people, and I, if you don't mind me saying, you said that you would love to work with me, and you said you got some other things coming.
Oh yeah, I got a chance possibly to go to Cleveland, Ohio, talk to some young men out there in the church from Mr. From a shipmate of mine. He's a deacon at his church, or he's a junior minister. So let me correct that. And we actually talked the other day. I talked to him about you. And if they bring me out there, I would love for you to come with me.
I'll be there.
Actually, I can't talk about what we're doing on the 4th, but Minister Wright will join me at a global award event in Grand Rapids, Michigan, at the Gerald R. Ford Presidential Museum. And we will broadcast what that is later.
Okay, we'll broadcast what that is later, people. It's going to be major. My bad. Now, people really don't know, and the viewers and listeners know how giving you are. You raised over $1 million for scholarships.
Well, no, let's correct that. Okay, the scholarships the girls got and some of the boys got, I directly, indirectly was there, drove them there, or talked to the coaches over the phone. Now, with that, a little bit over my time working with kids, that's a lot of car washes. That's a lot of, I donated over 6 figures myself. I would take my bonus money. I'm a military retiree, so I took a lot of my retirement money to get it started. And then, of course, people jumped on the bandwagon once they seen me on the show, Secret Millionaire, and realized, hey, that kid's from Gary, Indiana. Or this young man, I call myself a kid, right, from Gary, Indiana. And, man, I would open up my mailbox sometime. I'm getting letters from people that I don't know. Checks would just fall.
Now, have you ever had a conversation with yourself? What I mean by said, wow, God really brought me through some things.
He has, but I got time for that. I'm not done. See, that's why there's a quote that Bob Marley said, and I may misquote him a little bit, but you'll get the gist of it. I'm not famous. You know, people may say I'm somebody, or I'm a person of interest, because guess what? I'm not famous to me.
Wow.
I'm still a guy from the Bronx, grew up poor, grew up on welfare.
Your first speaking engagement, what did you talk about and what happened? Well,
when people ask me to come speak, they always have an agenda, and they want me to, I always find out what do they want me to focus my speech on. And then I would do that. I would cater that, tailor my speech to that. And then after I do that, basically it's like here, they just let me go. And I would ask them certain questions. I'm going to engage you. You're going to be mad at me. You're going to be happy to see me. I'm going to be relevant. You're going to go home and talk about me. Comedian Dr. Samina Davis was just talking about this the other day. You're going to say something about me because I'm going to pull some kind of emotion out of you, even if you get mad at me. But it's all in love. It's all in love. Common sense ain't common to most people. Even when I say this, common sense ain't common to most people. We just assume it is, but it's not. So I always like having people think, because the people I hang around, they make me think. They change my mindset. And again, I probably said his name for the 4th or 5th time you're going to hear it. James Malachek changed my life. That young man changed my life because being on that show. And when I was sick, he called me. Well, most guys, after the show, they don't keep in contact with the people they gifted. I've been to his house. I've hung out with his family. I'm actually going to be with him in LA this December. So we formed a brotherhood. And even though he might be 6'4", Caucasian, we call ourselves brothers. I'm just the cute one. He's the tall one with the jump shot.
Wow. When I was looking at some of the pictures and some of the things you've done, and you've been around the world, what place have you been to that made you say, wow, that you knew when you left that stage or you left that place that somebody or some lives were changed forever?
Glad you said that.
All the Holy Spirit, you told me, I don't have my format.
I was in Shreveport, Louisiana, and I was blessed through Mr. Milton Carroll, who's also a person of God, and his father, is a minister of a church, and also he engages young people too. He's a CSI agent for the parish out there. He's had FBI training. He had Deltas. Deltas and AKAs are the biggest in sororities in the HBCU. So, and I really felt the love, and I really engaged in young ladies. There was some gentlemen in the audience as well, and I'm hoping to get back there this May and just follow up on some of them. Just follow up on them. I left there really feeling good. Good. I felt that I touched them.
What did you talk about?
Life, myself, and then I left the floor open for them to ask me questions. Because for one, this guy comes in, they throw up all this literature and got my picture up on the screen, and then I let them know I'm just like you. I mean, you want to live the American dream, so go live it. Don't let nobody tell you can't. Because I almost fell into that listening to the outside noise. You know what I'm saying? Being a minister. Sometimes we have to block out the outside noise. And people that's not for you, you got a delete button on your phone, right? Delete. So in life, some people, it's not their season. Their season them past. To grow, you have to move forward. If you stay stagnate or stagnation, you're standing still. If this bottle of water just sits there 5 years from now, it's just an old bottle of water. That's all it is. Now, we as a people, guess what? I go to school, I get educated, I get a good paying job. Then I find my wife. Then, as society say, you have your white picket fence and your I never understood the 2.5 children. You got 2 or you got 3, but 2.5 children. And guess what? Now you go on vacation. Now you got your vacation home. See the progress to living the American dream? The people in the hood sometimes act like that bottle of water. Just because you grew up there don't mean you have to stay there. There's a quote by, I don't know if it was.
Wow, that's good. Come on.
I don't know who said it. They say if you was born poor, that's not your problem. But if you die poor, it is. That means, God willing, if you live a decent 85 years, that means you did absolutely nothing to bring progress to your life.
Wow. So if you born poor,
that's not your problem. That's the situation. And that's understandable. But if you die poor, so tell me, what did you do for 85 years to better your situation? Watch this. I'll wait. Nothing popped in your head yet. It won't.
That's good.
That means you did absolutely nothing. Just sit around and become noise. Complain. The government this, the government that. They don't want. A lot of people think people look like you and I are looking for handouts. We ain't looking for handouts. We're looking for a handout. Because if you allow me, my work ethic, my ability to learn, because we want to own stuff, but I have to have a good job to make enough money to buy the stuff that I want to own. I can't buy stuff on minimum wage. I can't buy stuff on welfare. I'd like to have steak and lobster every now and then. I don't want to always go to my EBT card and I'm looking for chicken and beef on sale that's about a day from being expired. No. So I always tell people, again, be careful how you prejudge. I'm going to say prejudice, but I just did. Prejudge someone who's not in your situation.
I like he say prejudge is actually prejudice. Wow, that's pretty good. You know, I think the heart's coming. That's pretty good. A side note, Dr. Davis, wonderful, amazing woman on my show.
Yes, she is.
How did you guys meet?
Believe it or not, we met at Michael Jackson's, actually Miss Jackson, Miss Katherine Jackson, asked us performers, since I was a keynote speaker, to a private barbecue. And I saw these young ladies looking at me and did not know they was gospel singers as well. She can blow. She can blow.
For real?
Can blow. Yeah, her mother and her sister, they can blow. And if y'all watching, hey, Dr. Sabrina Davis.
Hey.
So, they just felt that they had to meet me. Then once I left the stage and did my thing with Ms. J and keynote and just mingling with people, I noticed they followed me, and I was like, they just said something in their spirit said, we had to come over and just talk to you. And we've been friends ever since. So we've been friends probably since the 27th of August, 2013. I spoke at graduation for her at Gary Roosevelt. She used to be the superintendent of that charter school out there, and we've been friends ever since. I support her book when it first came out, Unleashing Unafraid. And that's a movement. That's a real movement. Fellas, we need to get involved. We can't leave these ladies out. We can't leave these ladies out there by themselves. And she's got another book in the works, but I'm not going to steal her thunder. Amazing young lady. Amazing. I call her my little sister.
You know, I was telling her, you know, and it's funny you said that, you spoke about that, because I spoke with the engineer and the owner earlier today about, you know, about resigning from I'm a 911 dispatcher, you know, taking a shot at it, starting a business, because, you know, I'm at the point where I'm tired of working for somebody. I'm going to use what God gave me.
Right.
And for you to say that, and sometimes you got to have faith. So in thinking that, growing up, was there ever a part of deep depression? And what is your faith level?
Well, I wouldn't say I was depressed or depression. I didn't have time to be depressed. I had to figure out, and my sister, Kim, she's 3 years older than me. So, and again, my mother taught us life skills early. I mean, at 6 and 7, we knew how to cook breakfast, you know, if nothing else, you know, bacon, eggs, toast, you know. I didn't have time to feel depressed. I just knew I got through this day, how I'm gonna get through the next day. So I was dealing with situational stuff. And sports saved my life. That's why I think I'm a big sports fan, because sports made sure I had grades to graduate. Because if it was for sports, I could have been a drug dealer like everybody else in my neighborhood. I could have been on the wrong side of the law. First of all, my 4'9" or 10 mother, I'm the tallest one in my home, and back then I was 5'9", I'm 6 foot now. My mother was not going to have it, and I'm not going to break my mother's heart. So I did whatever I had to do legally to get out of school. So my motivator factor was, hey, I got to maintain at least a C average to stay on this football team. So that's what I did.
And God in your life.
God in my life, I always ducked it. People always say, you know what? I can see you being a deacon one day. I'm like, oh, man, I shook that off. No, not me. Come on, man. Come on, Pastor. Come on, no, don't tell me that. And I had a mild heart attack, and I thought I had another one. And I sat there as they was pumping stuff in an IV bottle and putting nitroglycerin pills under my tongue. I said, God, if you get me through this, I'm definitely going to serve you and change my ways. He did his part, and I'm just doing my part.
Wow.
You can't make a promise to the man, and he kept his end. Because at the end of the day, God is God every day, all day.
Always. Now, just ask a side question to AJ. Effect, or what type of lasting effect that Tony Braxton, what has he done to change? He got me all discombobulated, and normally I'm a talker. What, knowing him, like?
Well, basically, he's done everything for me. Like, like at the national tournament, one of the assistant coaches from North Carolina came to me and talked to me.
Tar Heels.
Yeah, came and talked to me. They were surprised that I was a seventh grader on the basketball team.
She's seventh grade.
Yeah, but they asked me to come to one of their camps, and I did. I was there for maybe a week? Yeah. A week? Yeah.
She was a camper. They invited her to the University of North Carolina.
I was there for a week.
Home of Michael Jordan in his college years.
Yeah, I was there for a week. The camp was awesome. I loved the camp. I met the head coach there. Met a few of her players as well. We did a few things, a few layup drills, a few jump shots, and we saw like some of the dorms that they used to live in while they were in school as well.
She didn't keep contact with you once you come to North Carolina?
Well, when I came to North Carolina, they did.
They kept sending letters.
Yeah, they kept sending me letters.
I helped her navigate through some school situations, even at Kirkwood and also here in Gary, Indiana. IUN. So I've been there for her. She's one of my favorite. Not only is she a good player, she's not gonna fill up the stat sheet. She's a game changer for sure because of her ability to drive and dish and play defense. And for 5'5", she was our second leading rebounder at 5'5". And I really think she's more 5'4.5". Yeah, 5'4.5".
Yeah.
And
remind me not to play you one-on-one. Let me ask you, Dr. Branch. You hear her story, and when you hear the stories of so many young people you've touched, does it give you a piece of what you've missed in your childhood back?
Yeah, I became the person that I wish was there for me. I tell you what, I give all the credit to the players and the parents. You gotta understand, as a coach, and I don't care how good or great people thought I was or am, if I don't have 12 young people who's willing to buy in and the parents buy into what I'm trying to teach them, I'm just out there by myself. Phil Jackson is great, but he still have to have Michael, Scotty, and the rest of them to buy into the triangle and what he's trying to teach them. And if everybody ties in and buys in to what the coach is trying, you should be successful. You should be successful. You should be successful. If someone does not want to buy into the program, you got to hit that delete button. You have to, I'm in the military. You have to jettison it. You got to get it off the airplane. It's holding us back. It's drag. Drag holds you back.
Have you ever had to do that with a young person?
I never cut a young person. If they made my team, they made my team until they cut themselves. Yeah, I had to do that. It was hard. One girl cried on me, and believe it or not, here goes a good part. I'm glad you asked me that. One girl, I told her, you know what? Keep coming to practice with us. Maybe you make our team next year, but keep coming to practice. Well, her mother kept bringing her to practice. One of our girls got hurt. Remember Martinez got hurt?
Yeah.
And guess what? Because she kept coming to practice, she came in. I said, here, this number 12 jersey is yours. She said, you told me I didn't make the team. Y'all been playing games already. I added her to our AAU roster. Guess what? Because she didn't give up on herself, and I left the gym door open for her. Believe it or not, she also went with us in 2009 and got a silver medal. And she's in that picture I sent you, standing next to the national AAU run-up trophy. We left there with the number 2 ranking in the United States. Basically the number 1 ranking in the United States because the title actually went to Canada. But we was number 2. at the end of the national championship tournament, playing in front of college coaches. Even the Navy tried to come down. Navy's academy tried to come down and recruit some of my girls.
Now, do you still coach now, or have you tried to? You ever thought about coaching professionally?
No. I was blessed to be on the bench one time at a pro-am in Newport News, Virginia, some years ago when I was still in the military. I retired officially. At that banquet dinner, that was July 2nd, 2014. I had to coach. I was a little short of my 600 wins, so it was a couple of teams I helped out in Pennsylvania when I was there. And I asked the coach, I said, if you allow me to, can I coach your team? And he knew about me. And he sat on the bench. He let me coach. I was fortunate enough to go 4-1, which gave me 600. Then after that, because I was going to stop, but it was just going to be odd to stay on five. What was that? 594. It was just didn't sound right. And then some guy helped me purchase that. He said he's going to leave the game after 31 years and not take nothing from the game. He says, why don't you design a ring? And I helped put the down payment. I said, no, you don't need to do that. But lo and behold, here coming this check. And he says, you better design a ring. So I had to start shopping around to Jolston's and all them other ring places. And I found a place in Michigan that quoted me a nice price. And
you got one. You got the ring.
Yeah, it's unique because I designed it. So it's only one like it. It cost me some money because it wasn't mass produced. So to make one ring and a chain, and she's actually, I don't know if you
I forgot to bring it. I'm sorry.
She's got the head of that. Yeah. Because she did a lot. She set a lot of records. And I just got finished throwing away a lot of our records. Can you imagine keeping 31 years of stat books?
Wow.
And stuff? Yeah, it was just clogging up. I had totes stacked up everywhere. But the records is real important. I don't need it. I can remember it. Every time I see her, I already know 6-time all defense. Second rebounder, year 2014, 2013. 2-time runner up at LeBron James. When LeBron James first put girls in it, we took third. And then we took third. Then the next 2 times, we lost the championship game.
We got to see. Now,
the first year we went down for the LeBron James tournament, it was a real good game.
Yeah, you got 800-900 teams coming up from all over.
Yeah.
A lot of people didn't know he started incorporating girls. So it was like, in our age bracket, it was like, I don't know how many teams, but it was the team that beat us won it all.
Wow.
Yeah, I forgot where they came from, but
Was it Indiana Elite?
I think
Indianapolis,
yeah.
They get some of that Gordon's money from the NBA because some of his teams, down there.
And don't worry, we start a little late. I'm gonna have you on the show more often.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you, now that you know how to get here,
man.
And you know how our producer look. Even though he's ugly, he be all right. So
he gave you that look, man. I'm gonna have to escort you out of here.
5 years. What can we expect from Tony Branch 5 years?
Well, I'm moving my act to San Antonio, Texas, to be quite honest with you. But I'm going to continue to do what I do. I blew a chance to actually work with J-Lo and her management team because I was in Maine doing I call it my East Coast swing, visiting some friends in Maine and then dropping down to see my ex-brother-in-law in Teaneck, New Jersey. And it was an opportunity blown, but I don't look at it like that because if they thought of me that much to kind of just be around her and her management team. J-Lo's from the Bronx. I'm from the Bronx. I'm a little bit older than her. So I don't know. They tapped me and I just couldn't do it. So I got some opportunities west. I'm in the process of working with my protege. I got a young lady my next book will be out this June. Quote, poems, some real stuff, a lot of people, they didn't even know I like reading poetry because I don't think they think athletes read poetry and stuff like that. All right. And I've sent some to your phone.
Yes.
Yeah, he'll send everybody
I
quotes.
send them to other people in a lot of phones. I send them to people, they give me hearts. I send them out.
Yeah. So I appreciate that. Yeah. Anything to CTB, that's me, Coach Tony Branch. And I read other people's stuff and I don't mind sharing stuff because knowledge is a beautiful thing.
Yes.
But if you don't share it, it ain't knowledge. You got to share it.
Right. And people always say, well, I post every day and whatever God gives me. Just like I tell you, when you sit down with me, I don't know what God's going to ask me to ask you.
Right.
But whatever Holy Spirit says, ask this person this, because there is nothing more truer than an open, honest, unexpected answer.
Right.
See, when you can think about it, you can conceive something in your mind and say, okay, I'm gonna give something to somebody to make it sound good.
Right.
But if you don't know what the question is, and somebody gives you something, it's like, wow, I gotta answer this from the heart. And that's what the solution is, because I want people to get true answers. You know, you can anybody see, a lot of people love to tell you what you should do. Okay, again, open the door. But when I ask that question, it gives me this question: how does it make you feel when you open up doors for people? Because,
it's a beautiful thing. I'm probably more. You have a stack of money here, but I have a chance to make her a coach and maybe travel with me. And I actually got an opportunity. It's still out there to coach in Haiti, to help them bring up their basketball team, junior. And guess what? I'm bringing former players with me. So when that happens, when you create opportunities for somebody, because somebody created an opportunity for me, it's paying it forward before paying it forward was cool. No, paying it forward, everything is cool now. But I ask people this: what have you done for somebody else? Remember, the true measure of a man is not what you do for others.
Come on.
At the end of the day, we all have a legacy, whether you want to believe it or not. Watch this. Man, I love seeing Coach Tony. Man, is Coach Tony here again? One is positive, one is negative. Let's do it again. Man, I love hanging around Coach Tony. Is Coach Tony here again? No matter, everybody think you have to be famous, rich, an actor, or athlete. Every day when you walk outside that door, somebody's watching.
Come on.
If nothing else, he's watching. So with that said, you're going to leave a legacy. Whether you want to believe it or not, you're leaving a legacy. It's like this. Man, I can't wait to hang out with Minister Corby Wright again. Oh my God. Is he here again?
I hope nobody will be like, hey,
you don't want to be the latter.
Right.
You don't want to be the latter of the two. So believe it or not,
that's an Earl B like that towards me.
You just want to. James Malchek and certain people like him. I love being around people that's positive, because they force you to be positive. Even if you don't want to be, it start rubbing off. And then, like you're saying, he always said, no matter what, just do the right thing. Even if the right thing may be wrong to everybody else, just do the right thing. Because at the end of the day, you lay your head down, you had peace. Remember, you gotta all this. You gotta be in peace right here before I can bring her peace, before I can bring you peace. I got to do more soul searching, enlightenment here before I can pass on enlightenment. I had to come to the fact that I wasn't good at things. So you hang around people who are.
Wow.
Watch this. I can teach you how to shoot a jump shot, but I'm no lawyer. So guess what? I hang around a lawyer or hire the lawyer. Learn what he already knows. And then now I'm in the game. You can't play the game unless you know how, you can't get in the game unless you know how to play the game. So a lot of times people will tell you stuff. Would you take advice from somebody with your stocks and bonds who got 2 or 3 bankruptcies and he blew all his stock? So I will ask you this, Minister, why are you listening to that person? He's going to tell you how to lose your money. That's all he can teach you.
Right.
To listen to someone who's successful, then they're going to teach you the ways or the method or they're going to give you the recipe to success. Watch this. We can make a pound cake, but I can't make it as good as your wife. But if I take her recipe, she say use this much eggs, this much vanilla. Now it's going to taste like a pound cake, but with more practice, hopefully I can get it to taste as good as hers. As long as I got the recipe, eventually my cake is going to taste as good or maybe even better as your wife's. But you got to know the recipe. I can't not put the eggs in there or don't use enough flour. The cake is going to fall in and ain't going to taste right. Once someone teaches you the recipe, then you can make that cake. Then you can find ways to success. Focus on positive stuff. The negative stuff is out there. Negative stuff is part of being human on this earth. It's out there. It's inherited. Even Mr. Bill Gates, the richest guy in the world, he got issues. He just got different issues. He got rich man issues. I got poor man issues. But because I got poor man issues, don't make me poor. I may not have as much monetary as Mr. Bill Gates, but guess what? I am rich with friends. I'm rich People like you in my life. Because guess what? Just sitting here talking before we got on the air, I learned something from you. People that like inspired people like to be inspired as well.
Appreciate that. I appreciate that.
No.
Now let's talk. Listen, because we go into the latter part of our show. Let's talk about your books and the inspiration behind your books. Let's start with this book.
Okay.
What was the inspiration behind this book?
I just wanted to touch my inner feelings about love, about life, and it's play on words. Because a lot of people thought it was a coaching book because I'm a coach and they see the ring. Well, the color of it ties in with my logo shirt, that forest green. And to give rise to a leader, we all got leadership abilities in us. Some people like sitting back. Other people, I'm an alpha. When it comes to basketball and certain things, I'm an alpha. You're not going to tell me too much. And if you do, you better have more than 600 wins and your resume better be better than mine. Because what's my motivation to listen to you if you're a loser? You should be listening to me, okay? So I just got in touch with my feelings. And again, like I told you before, you have to get in touch with yourself before I can reach out and touch you or her. Again, you're not going to take business advice from a guy whose businesses constantly go under. Yeah, hopefully you take advice from someone whose business was successful or can help you navigate through them business landmines that's out there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Why would I want you to hit the same landmine I hit? Well, guess what? When I got to this point, I knew I had to navigate over here, and then I came back around, and then we all need each other. No man is idle. We all need each other. That grocery guy up the street needs me. Or he won't stay in business. He needs me to go to work, get a paycheck every 2 weeks, and buy food from his store. Or that grocer is going to go out of business. So we have to understand that we all need each other. We need teachers. And again, let me speak about the teachers. I got a heart for teachers. They are molding our young minds. They are underpaid. Again, hopefully I ain't hurting some. They are underpaid. They are molding our young minds. Guess what? Obama was taught by his teachers. And he was the first black president. Before I leave this earth, hopefully I see a female black president. If someone say, what would I like? I would like to see that. I think sometimes us guys with testosterone, we take things to a whole different other level. I think a woman president would be good. Some people probably might think she'd be soft. I wouldn't think so. Because to get to that level, you understand what you're getting yourself into. Trust me, Obama didn't wake up one day and then realize, when he became president, once that night when him and Michelle and his family were off, he understood the pressure that was on him. We are the leaders of the world. The world looks at us.
Okay, now let's go with the next books.
Ooh, okay.
Because we got a few more. We got about 10 more minutes. So
okay. This is my latest. That's my baby. That's my story. We took a lot of my story's a novel. I used to work with Stanley Burrell, MC Hammer. I didn't put that in there. So we just took 7 chapters out of a novel of transcripts, and Dr. Vernette Joseph was my publisher and a good friend. He put this together with me and my assistant, Carol, and we just took 7 chapters, again, about my beginning, because, again, I grew up, Vietnam era and stuff like that. I didn't understand why people didn't like me because of the color of my skin, because I played with us Hispanics and Caucasian people, so I didn't understand why, as adults, they start calling me names, but we played together when we was kids. I'm the same guy. And it just tracks through my Navy career, tracks through our national run, and just me as a man. And I'm also Goodwill Peace Ambassador by the Real Ambassador.
Wow.
Which you're going to meet November 4th.
I can't wait. Wow. Okay. Now, in this book.
This book is a game changer. Real simple concepts by my good friend, Mr. James Malachek, who was actually my secret millionaire on the show. It originally showed, I think it was March 20th, 2011, and our episode was the only one that ever repeated. The first time, I think it was 10.6 million people across the country watched it, and then I think the next time it was like 6.8, if I remember correctly. So between both shows, you see the numbers. And believe it or not, my life changed. I couldn't go outside, even though I left U.S. Steel, or I was out of work, was living off my military retirement and unemployment. By the time it came back out, I was hired back in, and believe it or not, got a $5,000 a year pay raise. So a lot of good things started happening to me ever since I met that young fella right there. And he's a good man. He's a good man. Like I said, he's my brother. And he's got some real basic concepts to give you them aha moments. And he talks about how he met me in the show as well. So I just think it's a good read. I didn't even know I was in the book when it first, everybody, when I was there a couple of years ago, they wanted me to sign a book. And I'm like, why am I signing your book? And then I opened it up, I saw a picture, and so I started signing it. Then he realized he didn't tell me. And he sent me some books, 2 boxes of books to give away to my friends and family and people that he thought I felt that can use the basic concepts. Trust me, he's going to make you, by reading his book, it's going to make you change the way you see things on a daily basis. Because it did it for me. It did.
Man, I appreciate this. We're coming to the close. Okay. But I will have you again. I understand it's first time being here and stuff happens. So definitely have you at least twice. Okay. Next month. I appreciate it, man. I got you, because I want you and one day I want to have the 2 powerhouses, you and Dr. Davis.
Better bring your popcorn.
That might be that's gonna be a super
bring
one.
Your popcorn, yeah.
That's gonna be a super one. I always want to go out my shows for that person that's sitting in the corner right now. So it's the person sitting in the corner with that might be looking at a gun, might be looking at a Bible, might be ready to give up, might feel like, what, I can't make it. What can I do? What would you say to them?
I would tell them, because I downplayed my background. It was a little rougher than I'm expressed here on your show. But I could tell them, if I made it out, you can make it out. And not only that, that same person is thinking about taking his own life. He may have a cure to cancer. He may have a cure to AIDS. He just needs to believe in himself. Don't ever give up hope. Because think about it. Without hope, what do we have? What's the alternative? So I always believe in giving a person, be that light, and put yourself in their shoes. For one, I would never, even though I got down on myself one time, I just felt like, man, maybe life would be better. But then I was like, oh no, my daughters, my family. Oh no, that's selfish of me. That is selfish of me. Because you'll do more harm than good if that person pulled that trigger. He'll really damage his legacy and his family. Yes, physically he'd be gone. But look at the damage he done left. Trust me, I got out, they'll get out too. Trust me. And once people realize you got a sincere heart and you ain't afraid to do this and maybe get in there and grind a little bit, trust me, when you get in there and grind, people will help you when they see you helping yourself. If you're sitting back crying about, you're just a whiner. You're just a whiner. You need to get some cheese with that wine. You're just a whiner.
Wow. Man, it has been a great honor and pleasure meeting you, and
I appreciate it.
Meeting you as well. You want to say hey to your daughters? I don't know how many kids you have.
Yeah. Courtney, Jasmine, Darlene, Wigsmore, and Sean, Mr. Casey, Lieutenant Casey. I'm still close with my military guys. I've served with them during the war and some other things. So hey, I know you guys out there watching. Dr. Sabrina Davis, Carol, Mama V, Miss Riddle, all my peeps there, and Gary, and Maryville and Griffin. Because without them, I'm not Coach Tony. There's a lot of people in my book you'll see that I always have dedications. I pay homage to people. Because at the end of the day, I'm not Coach Tony without them. Because even with my flaws, I learned something from it. I'm gonna make a mistake today, because from mistake, you get experience. And from experience, you gain knowledge. When knowledge automatically leads you to wisdom. So don't be afraid to make mistakes, because without a mistake, watch this. Bill Gates, richest guy in the world. You think he came out the box? They told him Microsoft wasn't going to make it. Nobody's going against IBM. Watch this. Where's IBM today? You can't run nothing without Microsoft or their software. So don't ever let nobody tell you what you can't do. Think about what you can't do. They told some guy you can't make a phone without a cord with it. And what do you mean it's going to be 2 times the size of a credit card? And you can do your banking on it. I think we all got one, right?
Right.
So what happened to the people that told that man he couldn't do that?
He's doing it. He's doing it.
Believe in yourself. Keep grinding. If it's meant for you, and like you said, if God puts it in there for you, no man can take it away. Yeah, it's gonna be some hard times, some trials and tribulations, but that's the test.
Come on.
Those who give up before they break through. Don't be weak, be strong. I've sat home and cried. Man, why is people messing with me? Why are these people talking about me? Because, man, as many people talk about me, praise me, I had just as many people talk bad about me. One person had the nerve to tell me, what are you doing hanging out with Michael Jordan? Well, because I had the opportunity to hang out with Michael. They looked at it as a bad thing. If he called me right now and said, Minister, I got to go. And I was doing the blessing of this man right here. This is James Malachek. So I would just tell people, man, don't give up on your dreams. Hope. We too busy focusing on what we can't do, what we don't have. Having a big house and all them cars is overrated. Because I know when I go into the ground, and when you go on the ground, all the material things ain't going with us.
Right.
Our souls, hopefully, is going that way, then that way. But all that material stuff, that's staying right above here. Family's gonna fight for it, or the state's gonna take it over. So I don't really tie myself to nothing material. I don't own nothing that owns me.
Let's see. Wow. That's awesome. We definitely gotta have another show. Is there anyone you want to say hello to?
Say hello to your peeps.
I don't have any peeps.
Your
but
mama, your brother.
like
your
say,
grandma.
hello, hey mom, granny, granddaddy, uncles, Jordan. If you're listening, I'm pretty sure you're not.
You better be in class or track practice. Her brother
All right.
went to college.
Right. Well, thank you guys for an amazing show. I will have you guys on again.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Dr. Tony Branch, I appreciate it. Thank you for the opportunities. You opened the door for me. Thank you and bless you. Kingdom blessings for working with me.
Thank you, man.
For giving me opportunity.
Oh yeah, we're gonna do some stuff.
Right.
I mean that wholeheartedly.
Yes. Thank you for being on my show. People
Thank
of
you.
God, having faith doesn't mean it's gonna be easy. You gotta keep pushing. And if it was easy, there'd be no Tony Branch. If that was easy, it would be no. She wouldn't be here. If it was easy, there'd be no Earl Winfrey Intellectual Radio. If it was easy, there'd be Minister Corey Wright. And most of all, if it was easy, there'd be no you. See you at work. Peace.
Don't need no ticket, just get on.